Hello, my name is Codemaster Jamal, and welcome to my third devlog. Unfortunately, the footage that I meant to show you ended up getting corrupted. I recorded 2 hours off my laptop of me brushing the leaves from my sycamore and pine tree leaves. When I stopped the recording, I didn't have enough space on my laptop to actually store the file, so the file ended up getting corrupted. I guess OBS Studio was stuck in some sort of loop and thus wasn't able to store the file correctly, but it was actually more of my mistake than OBS Studio. So I'm going to show you what I have left of the footage, and hopefully you'll understand where I left off. Last week I created a bunch of different color schemes that I'm going to apply to my 3D models today. The point of this video is to also show how tedious developing games can be, and show how you can create a very diverse and vast world with very little effort. Let's apply the color schemes we created last week onto our tree leaves. Let's get straight into it. Like always, I started by exporting my UV maps from Blender. With the UV maps, I'll be able to draw the textures I want in Krita and apply them to my 3D models in Unity later. Since I knew I was going to be doing the textures for my palm trees later, I figured I would export the UV maps at the same time. I guess this is what they mean when they say hit two birds with one stone. And now that we have both of the UV maps exported, I'm going to hop right into Krita and finish painting the textures for my sycamore and pine tree leaves. As I said earlier, my computer ended up crashing, so I wasn't able to get the footage of me designing all of these textures. Off camera, I went ahead and applied the color schemes. However, for the sake of this video being educational and informative, I'm going to go ahead and give you an example of how I created these leaves. I actually did the real world colors first, but I won't bore you with those. I actually really dig virtual world colors. As you can see, I created a new color scheme. For this one here, I actually want to add a type of neon orange. Just to give you an example of how that goes, I take the color picker here, and let's start with this. Basically, the idea behind painting the pine trees is that you want to fill it in, but you want to leave a few gaps between places here or there. So you can actually, with this one, you can actually be pretty random if you want it. I also realized that the easiest way to get it done is just kind of, because you obviously have to do this for a lot of different textures, so you can't just kid around. So the more professional way of obviously doing it, not being a child, is kind of following. And that would be the idea behind it. Kind of fill it in. You need really a lot of the dark one at the bottom as a base because it kind of holds the lighter colors together. Yeah, I left a few spaces here. Now you leave a few spaces here there. Normally I would do this within different layers, but you get the idea. The reason why I'm doing it within one because I kind of already know where everything's supposed to fall. So I just have to kind of repeat the process over and over again. But then with the second color, it kind of gives you a little bit of time to kind of get a few edges here or there. And then finally, you apply the last color. Fill up the rest of the crack. So that would be the end of it, and that would basically be the texture. Finally, I get to show you guys the tedious mess I deal with every time I create a new texture for my game. This is the process I have to go through every time I create a new texture. First, I have to actually model the game object. Next, I need to export the UV maps as an image file of some sort. Then I paint the texture and export that into Unity. After that, I need to adjust the settings of the texture so that it's transparent and so that Unity reads the size of the file properly. And then after that, I need to create a material for each new texture and store them in the proper places. Each material needs to have the exact same settings, otherwise it wouldn't look so great with my environment. Finally, all that would be left is to use the materials on whatever mesh I created for the game. It's a simple process, but once you've learned it, you get the hang of it. Unfortunately, this becomes a tedious mess as each of the textures need to have the exact same settings, and so do the materials. You can only get away with a few things when you're texture painting, however, once you're ready to import it into your game, there's no cutting corners. And just to give you an idea of how tedious this can be, I'll let you guys sit back and watch how I did the exact same thing over and over again. Not complaining, but yeah, this is how it is being an indie game developer, at least in my experience. I've had to do similar things with 2D games before where I would basically have to do the exact same sprite, but I would have to recolor it in a different fashion or something like that. This is also the way I figure a lot of companies create different character options for their game when you deal with character creation systems and those type of things. Once again, I don't really have any formal instruction when it comes to game development. However, after watching people make games and trying and testing out a few games or making games on my own, this is basically how I learned how to do things. This final scene is actually of me tidying up a few things. I decided to organize my files a bit better by renaming all of them. This of course caused the Unity game engine to not recognize a few of my textures. However, fixing that was as simple as changing the path of the material. In the future, by renaming my files, my project will be organized better. It'll also be easier to create sections of the world because all the materials and the textures will be next to each other. Once everything was in order, I started to work on testing out a few of my materials. Out of all my textures, I think I like the beach zone the best, especially because it was based on an area in the game Mega Man Battle Network 3. This game was what really influenced me to get into game design, so this is something I wanted to do since I was in the 6th grade. Now that all my materials are set, I've finished all the color schemes for my sycamore and pine tree leaves. This brings me to the end of my devlog. If you enjoy watching this video, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. I'll also be uploading videos of myself playing bass with a few local musicians in Miami. I would also like to announce that I'll be uploading game dev videos once a month. These last few videos took a lot longer than expected, and there's a lot I need to get done for my game that I can't because I'm too busy vlogging. So I think I'll try doing one devlog a month or maybe even twice a month so that way I can showcase more. Also, if you like texture painting, I'll be doing a tutorial about how to create 2D textures for a 3D environment, as well as a tutorial on how I created the textures for my palm tree leaves. Look forward to actually seeing some of my game's actual game mechanics and a few other things. You'll get to see how the character moves and how the character interacts with different pieces of the world and what actually makes the game fun. Till next time, this is Codemaster Jamal, and I'm signing out.